If you want to feel more calm, confident, and connected in your life, the Love Your Real Life membership is for you. Members love the simple daily challenges that help create small, consistent actions that lead to the change that they want. And then the live sessions that are throughout the month that leave them feeling grounded, relaxed, and supported. There's a link in the show notes to join. I would love to see you inside of this membership. Welcome to the Love Your Real Life podcast. I'm Faith Lauterbach, and this is a space to help you heal, rebuild, and create a life you truly love, even if it looks different than you imagined. Each week, I'll be sharing tools, encouragement, and real conversations about what it means to move forward after betrayal, heartbreak, or simply life not going as planned. I am honored to walk alongside you and help you love your real life. Well, hello and welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for being here. I'm honored that you're choosing to spend this time with me. You know, it is the last week of March, and we'll be moving into April in a couple of days. And there's something about that time that feels really special to me. It's like a pause before this new chapter. And I thought it would be fun to try something a little bit different on the podcast. I'm going to start doing a monthly episode called What I'm Noticing Right Now. And the idea behind this is really simple. Just taking a few minutes to pause, reflect on the month, share what's been working and what I've been learning, what's been supportive, and then what's felt a little hard. I really love it when other podcasts do episodes like this, and I've gotten so many ideas and just felt so connected to the person sharing it. And so I wanted to bring that here. So this episode's going to be a little less structured and really just a reflection on what's been going on for me this month. One of the biggest things I noticed at the end of February was that I was feeling really burnout. And I think that is part of the nature of being a business owner. I'm making decisions all day long. I'm the only one that can make them. Every little tool, every new idea, everything, it all requires a decision. What I started to notice is by the end of the day, I was completely drained. I could not make one more decision. And so what I was doing in the evenings was sitting on the couch and scrolling on my phone because it felt easy and I didn't have to think. But at the same time, when I was done, I didn't feel good. So I decided to try something really simple. I wrote down a bunch of things that I actually wanted to do in the evenings. Things like working on a puzzle, reading, flipping through a magazine, journaling, doing a crossword. And then I cut them into little pieces of paper, folded them up, and put them in a jar. And now when I get to that place where I'm like, I cannot make one more decision, instead of picking up my phone, I pick something out of that jar. And I just do whatever it says. It takes the decision-making out of it completely. And it's been so helpful. I think about decision fatigue and how it doesn't just impact business owners, but it impacts everybody in different ways. Anything that we can find that we can help this process, having themed nights for dinner can help with that. Every Monday we have this. Every Tuesday we have this. Things like that, picking out your outfits for the week, or maybe every Monday you wear the same thing. There's all kinds of different ways to help with this decision fatigue. So if you're feeling that way in your own life, I'd love to hear some ideas that you have to help your future self with that. So, all right, moving on to reading. Reading has always been really supportive for me. I love reading. I've loved reading since I was a kid, and I kind of went down a little rabbit hole recently. There's this podcast that I love called Currently Reading, and if you're a reader, I highly recommend it. It's spoiler-free, and they just talk about what they're reading. They do such a great job describing the books, and I feel like you really know, after hearing their description, if it's a book for you or not. one of the hosts recommended a book in the series called the Mirror Visitor Quartet. It's 4 books in that series, and it's a French fantasy series, which is totally outside of what I would normally read, but I decided to try it, and I ended up loving it. So, it's about a character named Ophelia who can travel through mirrors between different spaces. What I noticed is that reading something like that before bed, it gave my mind somewhere to go. Instead of thinking about everything happening in the real life, I am I'm in this completely different world. And there's something that feels really calming in a different way. I'm finishing the 4th and last book right now, and I'm kind of sad to let these characters go. Have you ever done that where you've gotten just like you feel like you know these characters and you love them and you're rooting for them, or maybe not all of them, but just want to know what happens in their life and you're about ready to say goodbye. So that's kind of where I'm at in that book. And then also inside my membership this month, we're reading a book called Let It Go by Peter Walsh. It ties in perfectly with our theme, which is holistic spring cleaning. And it's about downsizing and letting go of things. My husband and I actually downsized a couple of years ago from about 3,500 square feet to around 1,000, 1,300, something like that. And what I've learned is that having a lot of things, it's not just physical clutter, it's mental clutter. It's like a pile of decisions or totes full of decisions that haven't been made yet. So going through that process and now revisiting it has been really cool. All right, let's talk about what I've been watching. I'm not a huge TV watcher, but it is fun to have a show. So, a few shows that we've been watching lately. Okay, we started watching Homeland a while ago. I know, it's an older show. Probably everybody's seen it or whatever, but we hadn't. So, it's one of those shows that where every episode ends on a cliffhanger. So, we found ourselves staying up way too late, just watching one more and one more. Have you ever done that? After doing this several times, we made a rule. We only watch it on one night a week, and we limit it to 2 episodes. And honestly, it has made it so much better. We actually really look forward to it. Another show I've been watching is called The Midwife. Again, I know it's an older show. That's kind of how I roll. But this one just feels so comforting. Oh my gosh. If you're watching it, have you watched it? Let me know what you think. There's something about even when there's hard things happening in the show, which there always is, it gets resolved within the episode. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. There's no lingering stress. And sometimes that's exactly what I need. The third show is Shrinking, which is so much fun. It also only comes out once a week, which honestly feels kind of nostalgic, like back in the 90s when you had to wait for the next episode. So, anyways, that's a little bit about what I've been watching. Okay. What's still feeling hard? You know, this thought that it doesn't matter where we get into our lives, right? The work we do, there's always more to be done. There's always new experiences that are happening, other ways to think about things, things to learn, things to shift. Sometimes that can feel like a lot, but I want you to know it's part of our human experience. Even with all of these things that are helping, right? There's still moments where things feel hard. There's always going to be more things to learn and grow on. For me, continuing to notice my thoughts and my feelings, knowing when I feel overwhelmed, and then trying to support myself before I get to complete overwhelm. I don't wait until I'm completely drained, or I really try not to wait until I'm completely drained. I try to just be reflective and check in with myself. And as I move into the next month, there's nothing really that I'm like trying to bring in some big change, but I'm just focusing on creating a little more space in my life, making sure I am bringing in moments of joy, reducing decision fatigue where I can so that I have the space and energy and capacity to enjoy my life and really continuing to choose things that actually support how I want to feel. That includes the people in my life That includes the routines and the things that I'm doing. I just make sure that they're supporting how I want to feel. It's that simple. Just because something's simple doesn't mean it's easy. I know that that is true. But I want to invite you to do the same. Take a few minutes to ask yourself, what am I noticing right now? What has been supporting me? What feels a little off? You don't need to fix everything. That's not required. Start with noticing, start with awareness. This is something I'm going to continue to do each month. And, I'll probably change it up a little bit each time as I learn and grow, like we all do. And I'd love your feedback. What are some things you want to know about? What are you noticing in your own life? What are you reading? What are you watching? I love to hear what other people are doing. And I think it's a great way to connect. This is what it's really all about, learning to love your real life and those things that help you do that. Thanks so much for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Love Your Real Life podcast. I hope that today's episode was just what you needed. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you're looking for more support, check out the show notes for how to connect. Remember, no matter what your story holds, you are worthy of living a life that you love. Talk to you soon.